I have a question for the filmmakers, though, because I think, in response to Nick, I think our generation doesn't have like a memory of facts, but more a memory of feeling. So I think when I'm older and I look back on this festival, I don't really remember like, okay, I saw that in that movie there, or I talked to that and that person, but I more feel like remember the feeling about it and remember being here with like 27 European people and feeling uh, that was very interesting to talk like to filmmakers. And I was wondering if you both as filmmakers, when you make a film, does your memory work like differently? Do you go back to, for example, feelings that you experienced when you were younger, or do you actually like remember facts that you incorporate in your films?
Um, I think it's both. As I told you before, to make this film, this last film, I had to go in my own memory when I was like 18. But at the same time, as this film is based in the year 70s, of course I remember the year 70s, but um, I didn't know because the whole story is taking place in the French army, military army on a naval ship, and I'm not French. I've never been on a naval ship. I'm not a boy. Um, I've never experienced nuclear tests. So of course I had to do a very deep research, and internet helped me a lot for this research to find old films that were taken at the time for the costumes, for the attitude, for whatever, you know, how those people were acting, even though in the 70s, you know, I'm perfectly conscious of how was the year 70s, but not in that subject. So it's a mixing of both your personal memory and the things that you have to learn. And so that's the way, depending, of course, from one film to another film, you know. I would wonder how I would do if but I probably will never do, make an anticipation film, like in the year 2050. I think that must be difficult because there you have to project and I think some people are very good in that, but I would be completely destabilized, probably because I don't have imagination enough to think what will be. Like you were asking the question, how will our memory be? This is a very strange question because I think the memory is going to be the memory and mine and yours and kids that are now 1 year old. I think we will still have the same memory, or I hope, because otherwise, I think it would be strange if because of too much information, things disappear.
About this. There's a lot of information in media, and this could be frustrating, but this is a very good opportunity for us because we have the chance to create our selective memory. But my question for you, adult people, is: are we free to create our selective memory? Can we choose in this net of information?
Beh, intanto, anche per rispondere alla domanda della studentessa di prima, in ogni mio lavoro c'è una memoria personale e in ogni mio lavoro io so qual è, ma è una cosa molto privata e personale che non è necessaria che sappia lo spettatore. Però quella è la molla per cui si genera la mia vitalità intellettuale che porta alla realizzazione del film. C'è sempre un motivo molto personale. Innanzitutto i film io li faccio per me e poi per il pubblico. Questa è, diciamo, la mia specificità.
Well, first of all, I'd like to reply to the young student that asked the question before about what your memory is based on, facts or personal memory. In all of my works, there is a very important element of personal memory. And I know exactly where that lies, and it's both private and personal, but the public may not know it. It's not that important for me. There is always, though, a trigger in my personal memory that creates my film, a film that I make, first of all, for myself and then for the audience.
L'altro aspetto, risposta, non so se è una risposta alla domanda sua, è una provocazione che io faccio, no? Nel senso che vi considero persone molto fortunate voi, e allora la domanda che mi faccio è: ma è necessaria per la memoria sempre comunque vivere un'emergenza drammatica? Perché anche questa è una questione centrale del nostro tempo, no? Nel senso che se no la memoria diventa un alibi, ma non è più memoria. Allora noi, genere umano, animali semplici, fragili e anche a volte molto inquietanti e pericolosi, dobbiamo generare un'emergenza che ci produce un effetto di ricordarsi, poi di ricordarci che certe cose non debbano più accadere. Però non siamo in grado, nel momento in cui viviamo una condizione di fertilità positiva, di produrre quel contenimento per evitare che arrivi improvvisamente il terremoto che annienta la nostra vita. Quindi la questione della memoria è una questione delicata, ma può essere anche un alibi inquietante che produce un po' così l'alibi che non ci permette poi di essere realmente protagonisti, ma in attesa che arrivi l'ondata di piena e lo tsunami ci travolga per poterci poi permettere di ricordarci, E io su questo sono assolutamente preoccupato, ecco.
Then I don't know if I'm going to give a real reply to your question, but I would like to give you this kind of provocation, because I think you're very lucky people here present today. So I'm asking you, is it necessary in order to preserve this memory to have a situation of urgency, of emergency, of drama somehow, in order to keep this memory? Isn't this rather an alibi for us? So we are human beings, we are fragile, we're weak, but we're also dangerous and disturbing in a way, because until something really dramatic or urgent happens, we cannot really preserve, it seems, this kind of memory. So what is really disturbing to me is the fact that whenever the situation seems to be calm, quiet, fruitful, and peaceful, why don't we do something to contain the elements that could lead to that earthquake that then becomes our tragic memories? So memory is a very thorny, delicate issue, but it's also, to me, a very disturbing alibi, because if we treat memory this way, we cannot really be protagonists, but we're just waiting for the next tsunami to overwhelm us, and only then can we preserve new memories.